Hi, welcome to Know the Signs and Christ-Centered Empowerment for Families. I'm Linda Green, a domestic violence advocate and as well as a advocate mentor. I've been supporting survivors of domestic and sexual violence for quite a few years now, and this I think is our fourth or our fifth video. I'm not really sure which one, but we're going to be talking about the character traits, personality traits of someone who may be using power and control to get their abusive needs met. And then in the next video, we're going to be talking about character traits of a person who potentially could find themselves in an unsafe relationship with someone who is using their power over opposed to personal power. And when you think about those two things, power over or personal power comes from this inner sense of security and worth and value, this intrinsic worth and value. As Christians, we would say our intrinsic worth and value as we embrace our identity in Jesus Christ. And as we mature into that, we will be able to not overpower other people, right? But we just make sure that we maintain our own personal power, a sense of what's right, a sense of what's wrong, a sense of what we will do, right? And a sense of what we just won't do, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this is this profile of what someone could look like who is utilizing a power over in an intimate relationship opposed to embracing their own personal power. This is a very controlling person. This is someone who really just is overbearing. This is someone who can be very, very cruel. They can be hypersensitive. This is someone who can go beyond an overreaction. It's like they'll jump from when something happens and they're uncomfortable. All of a sudden, you'll realize this is an individual who is easily insulted. You get it? Easy to offend, easily insulted, and will become very angry. And you'll see that on their facial expressions. You'll see it in their body language, and you can even hear it within their tones and how they speak. This could be someone who will use force within an argument, like it's not just a disagreement or a slightly raised voice because of a disagreement. This is someone who's going to be very forceful to the point of sort of like the playground bully. How's that? I think that's probably the best way I can describe it. But this is someone that you're in an intimate relationship with. So this is a boyfriend, this is a girlfriend, this is a dating partner, this is a husband, this is a wife. Because the misuse of power in an intimate relationship or even in friendships is not safe and it's not healthy for anyone. And the person who misuses their power is also someone who may be highly manipulative and very controlling. They may be very critical. This is someone who can really destroy another person's self-esteem and sense of worth and sense of value, right? Just by the words they're choosing. They could even have a history of being abusive and cruel in other relationships. They can oftentimes deny the severity of an incident. Like an incident happens that's painful and harmful, and then when the incident is over, the individual on the receiving end of it will say, the other day, or earlier when this happened or that happened. Well, someone who's misusing their power has a very difficult time owning and accepting their own responsibility when something doesn't go well. So this individual is going to get angry, right? And then the whole verbal abuse, because we're still talking about that a great deal, the judging and the condemning and the humiliating another individual. Sometimes this is done in public and sometimes it's done in private. Either way, it's just damaging and it's really demeaning, and it's very hurtful. And we know that it's not something that's going to be beneficial in the relationship. Love should never be violent, right? And this little blurb that I'm going to share with you is this idea of a violent love. Love should never be violent. Oftentimes, someone who misuses their power, when their power over someone in an intimate relationship, they may become physical and may be very cruel, may actually physically harm another individual, right? And then they may turn around and say, well, look, it's because I love you, right? And it's because I care so much for you. And I just have so much passion for you. I just can't handle the thought of you leaving me. I just can't handle that. So that's why I got angry. And that's why I did what I did. So someone may may always have a reason to get angry, but there's no, you cannot excuse that. We're going to get angry. I think the Bible tells us, I know it tells us, be angry, but do not sin, and do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Well, people who are operating in this place of power over, and they're puffing up and powering over someone, I like to say they're sort of like the playground bully that unfortunately you've brought home with you. And in some cases, maybe you've married them. It's hard, really, really hard. So people, I'm asked this question often, can people who misuse power and power over in an intimate relationship, can they change? Can they ever change? Well, there's a book written by Lundy Bancroft, and it's titled, Why Does He Do That? Just inside the minds of angry people, inside the minds of someone who uses power and control or power over. First of all, it's written in the book that admitting fully to what she or he has done, right? It's important they're able to admit what they've done. It's important that they stop making excuses for their behavior that's really cruel and really uncalled for. And if someone were to do it to them, they would be devastated, right? They need to admit that and recognize that. To begin accepting responsibility and recognizing that this misuse of their power is doing a great deal of damage, and they're beginning to own that, right? They're taking responsibility. They're not going to be declaring themselves, oh, I'm cured, I'm all better now, it's okay, it's okay. Someone who's really quick to say that is a way of sort of shutting it down, which is another tactic, right? To kind of not want to hear someone else who is having a different view or a different opinion about something. And in this case, something that's really doing harm to another individual. Also, this misuse of power within this person, they're going to begin demonstrating respectful and kind and supportive behaviors. They're not going to demonstrate rude and inconsiderate and thoughtless and I don't care about your needs and I don't care if you're hurting because it's all about me. All that will go away and it will be demonstrated, not spoken, but demonstrated. They'll no longer blame their partner, or their children, when things go wrong. They would have ended the blaming. They would have ended the having consequences for someone else, right? When they've done wrong. When someone's changing, they're going to respond with great love and great compassion, and they're going to own their error. Not long ago, I actually had one of our sons say something to me that really blessed my heart tremendously. He said, "You know what, Mom? One of the things I love about you is from the time we were kids, you had no problem saying that you were sorry if you made a mistake." And I don't say that, you guys, like brag about me. Trust me, I'm not, right? But it's just, I'm saying that to say someone who's misusing their power, using power over in an intimate relationship, they must be right all the time, and they must make you know they're right, right? And they do this in a very aggressive way, right? And here's another, this is from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's a blog. And it says, while people do have the capacity to change, they need to deeply want to and be committed to all aspects of change in order to do so. You hear that? They have to desire it more than anything. When I think about we as Christians who are watching this video, we know there's a scripture that says that I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength. And so we believe that. If we grab a hold of that, that means if we really want to change, we partner with the living God and we make these changes, right? Because just to make the statement is another one. Honestly, because wanting to stop is not enough. It doesn't matter how badly somebody may want to stop. That's like someone who's an alcoholic or maybe a drug addict wanting to stop using. It doesn't matter if you want to stop. You have to you got to put feet to it. You got to move in that direction and do the work. There's a tagline that is said from an organization called Emerge, and they've been working with perpetrators of abuse and of violence for a long time. And they provide this educational program. And they're the ones that actually sort of coin that phrase, if you will. They say that, because wanting to stop is just not enough to just want to stop. It's this idea of, can someone who misuses their power and control and their personal power, it's like a hot topic, a hot debate, honestly, is can a person really change? Can people change? Sure, of course people can change. We all can change as we grow and as we mature and as we get older. We have to want to. And we can even change from unhealthy addictions, like I said, drug and alcohol. Those things we can change. Just like misusing other people by powering over someone, and being verbally abusive and being downright cruel, being someone who everyone else says they have to walk around in eggshells when they're around you, or everyone else may say it's just kind of, I love you, but it's kind of hard to be around you. The mistreating other people is a learned behavior, just like taking mistreatment or receiving mistreatment from someone else is also a learned behavior. So I always say I know this is a lot, and this is not, it's not easy for me to talk about. I may talk about it a little bit easier than what some people are able to listen to it, but this is our reality. This is happening in relationships, and it has since the beginning of time. So the cry of my heart is for all of us, to really decide that we want to learn as much as we can about what healthy and unhealthy relationships look like, and what to do when we have someone in our lives who we believe might be experiencing an unsafe relationship. And that's what Know the Signs are all about. So I look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you so much for joining us for yet our fourth or fifth recording. I'm not keeping up. Anyway, thanks for joining us. And once again, I am Linda Green, and this is Know the Signs, brought to you by Christ-Centered Empowerment for Families. Take care, and hope that see you soon. Bye-bye.